Hello, my Basset Hound friends and my sexy lemon pie cuties. Mark the Punk Gamer, a.k.a. Markapunk here. Finally, with a brand new studio album ranking. And yes, this is requested by Prison Miller to actually do this ranking. The band I'm ranking is Dream Theater. So he wants me to rank Dream Theater. And oh my god, they have 15 of them to go through. So, worst to best. And this is going to be a fun one. Since he's the winner of the high roll, so I'm actually doing it finally, and then I'm doing the Led Zeppelin after this. But anyway, let's just get this over with, guys. So 15 to 1, worst to best. Here we go. My number 15th worst one to me is actually the Astonishing album. So it's not the worst, but I put it as my least favorite. This one is the most boring out of all the Dream Theater albums, definitely, in my opinion. This one bores the hell out of me. That's why it's the worst. So, some I like in Disc 1, some I like in Disc 2. So here we go. The Dystopian of Overture instrumental, A Better Life. Savior in the Square. Brother, Can You Hear Me? Raven's Skill. A New Beginning. And there's some tracks I do like in Disc 2. Moment of Betrayal, Heaven's Cove, The Path That Divides. Machine Chatter instrumental. And lastly, Our New World. So, yeah, I had to itch my nose. Anyway, so yeah. This is, I think, is the worst Dream Theater album because this one is boring as hell to go through because it's so long of all the tracks. So I easily got bored and... Anyway. Yeah, my number 15 is going to be Astonishing. My number 14th pick is going to be Octobrium. That's what it's called, Octobrium. Yeah, this is my second least favorite Dream Theater album. Only at least 4 tracks I do like overall. This is my second least favorite. So the only 4 tracks I think are memorable is The Root of All Evil, The Answer Lies Within, Panic Attack, and lastly the Octobrium. Those are the only 4 songs I like from this album. But overall, this is my second least favorite out of all the Dream Theater albums. And my number 14 is going to be Octobrium. My number 13th of this ranking is going to be Dream Theater 2013 album. This one has some good tracks and moments here in these songs, which I'm going to name out for you guys. Is False Awakening, Sweet Instrumental, the Enemy Side, Enigma Machine Instrumental is pretty cool, Behind the Veil, pretty cool, and lastly Surrender to Reason. 5 tracks I like this one, so it was almost good to be in the middle or my high ranking, but not even close to me. So a lot of the other tracks are just boring and miss. There are hit and misses here and there in the 2013 one. My number 13th one is going to be Dream Theater 2013. Number 12 is Distant Over Time album. I ranked this a little bit better than the 2013 one. There's 6 songs I do like from this album. So Untethered Angel I think is pretty good. Paralyzed. Barstool Warrior. S2N. At Wit's End. And lastly Pale Blue Dot. So those are the only few tracks I like from this one. But yeah, it's a decent one overall. So my number 12 is gonna be Distant Over Time. Okay, my number 11th pick for this one. This might be an interesting one. Is going to be 6 Degrees of Inner Turbulence album. So why was this not lowered? So I had a little bit of a tiny bit of an interest in this one because of these songs here. Yeah, one's instrumental. Okay, I'll just name them out for you guys. Just get over with. The Glass Prison, 6 Degrees Turbulence Part 1 is pretty cool. Part 2 was, well, the first part has an instrumental. Part 2 was pretty good. Part 4 of that song, and lastly, Part 7 of that song as well. It's a reprise version. Yeah, those are the only decent tracks I do like from this one. So it could have been lower for me. It's hard for me to switch around. This is going to be a weird ass ranking, I know. My number 11th is going to be 6 Degrees of Inner Turbulence. My number 10th pick is going to be a Dramatic Turn of Events album. This one has a little bit of value in this one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tracks I like. So On the Backs of Angels, Lost Not Forgotten, I'll Cry, Far From Heaven, Breaking All Illusions, and lastly, Beneath the Surface. 6 tracks I like from this album. It's another decent album I can somewhat enjoyably listen to. But it's at my number 10th position is going to be A Dramatic Turn of Events. Number 9th pick is going to be Systematic Chaos. I thought this would be an awesome album. I'm not joking to you guys. I'm not lying to you at all. I really wanted to like this one, but it's in the middle of my ranking. Yeah, I wanted to enjoy this, but it came in a decently good area for me. Songs I like is In the Presence of Enemies Part 1, Constant Motion, Prophets of War, The Ministry of Lost Souls, pretty cool song. Lastly, In the Presence of Enemies Part 2. So, 5 songs I like. This one is decently good. I can actually enjoy listening to. And the album art looks cool overall as well. Cool. And all that stuff. My number 9th pick is going to be A Systematic Chaos. Alright, my Dream Theater band fans. So this is going to be an interesting one in the middle of my ranking of Dream Theater studio albums. So here we go. Number 8th pick is going to be their first debut album called When Dream and Day Unite. So their very first album. It's in the middle of my ranking. It's an okay debut type Dream Theater album to me, but I'm glad the albums got better after the first album they made. So I can have a decently good time with this first album that Dream Theater made. Overall, I can have a decent good time with this one. Songs I like is Fortune and Lies, Yes Jam Instrumental, The Killing Hand, Afterlife, and lastly, The Ones Who Helped to Set the Sun. Few good tracks I do like from their first album. Pretty good. Decently good. And overall, it's my number 8th position on my ranking When Dream and Day Unite. Okay, let's not beat around the bush here. Number 7th pick is going to be Awake album. This one is pretty cool. I think it's a little bit better than their debut. I can actually enjoyably listen to. This is in the okay category, and well, almost good category. I can actually enjoyably listen to. Songs I like 6 p.m. or 6 a.m. song, I don't know. Incident Faded, that's pretty cool. Mind Beside Itself Part 1 instrumental, that's pretty cool. Mind Besides Itself Part 2 is pretty good. The Mirror, Lie, Lifting Shadows Off of a Dream, and Scarred. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 songs I do like from this Awake album. I thought it's better than the first debut album in my opinion. It sounds a little bit better. So my number 7th position is going to be Awake, not to be confused by Godsmack's Awake, just let you know. Oh, we're almost there in the ranking, guys. My number 6 is going to be Falling Into Infinity. I know, it's a interesting pick for me. This one, I think, is really good, in my own personal opinion, and so it made it to my top of my ranking. I can have a good enough time with this listening to, of Dream Theater albums. Songs are like New Millennium, You're Not Me, Peruvian Skies, Hollow Years, Burning My Soul. Hell's Kitchen instrumental is pretty good. Lines in the Sand, Just Let Me Breathe is a good one. And lastly, Trail of Tears, parts 1, 2, and 3. There's so many to name out. So Raining, Deep in Heaven, and lastly, The Wasteland. Yeah, I can have a good time listening to Falling Into Infinity album from Dream Theater. I almost messed up, sorry about that. And yeah, I can have a good enough time with this one. So my number 6 is going to be Falling Into Infinity. Alright, my best home friends and my sexy lemon pie cuties. My top 5, I love all the tracks in these ones and all 5 of these albums. So you'll be surprised which is my top 5 are actually pretty good out of the rest of them I ranked earlier. Now, my number 5th position is going to be Metropolis Part 2, Scenes from a Memory. What a long title. I do enjoy this album. This made it to my top 5. I think it's pretty good in my opinion. Really good. And all 12 tracks are pretty good. So it goes from Scene 1, Scene 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and 8, and 9. Holy crap, a lot of tracks. All 12 tracks. I'll name them out. I'm just not going to name the scenes and the name and the title. So, Regression is my favorite. Overture 1928 instrumental. Strange Deja Vu. These are my words. Fatal Tragedy. Blah, blah, blah. Beyond This Life is a good one. Through Her Eyes. Home. The Dance of Eternity instrumental is pretty good. One Last Time. Awesome. The Spirit Carries On. Awesome. And lastly, the Finally Free. Just the send-off of this album is pretty good. Yeah, this is really good in my opinion. So my number 5th position, I'm gonna have to give it to Metropolis Part 2, Scenes from a Memory. Sorry, I belched. Anyway, my number 4. My number 4 is gonna be Images and Words album. This is pretty cool. I really dug this one. Pretty awesome album, and it's their best one in my opinion. This one has the best production, etc. Best sounding of all the Dream Theater albums. This one's a pretty good one in my opinion. All the tracks I'm going to name out. Pull Me Under, Another Day, Take the Time, Surrounded, Metropolis Part 1, when they made the album Part 2 for Metropolis, The Miracle on the Sleeper, Under a Glass Moon, Wait for Sleep, and lastly, Learning to Live. So, I enjoy going through this one. I think this one kicks ass as well. I love this one. I enjoyed this one. Best production, obviously, in my opinion. Number 4 is going to be Images and Words. Top 3, Bronze, Silver, and then Gold at the end. So there you go. I'm not trying to flip you guys off or anything. I'm just telling you the Bronze, Silver, and Gold at the end. So, my number 3 Bronze, I'm going to give it to the Black Clouds and Silver Linings album. This is still a good one. I still enjoyed this one, but it made it to my number 3 Bronze Medal winner. I think it's really cool in my opinion. Really freaking cool. Songs I like, there's not many, it's all 6. It's because they're long songs. A Nightmare to Remember, A Rite of Passage, Wither, The Shattered Fortress, The Best of Times. Sounds like a Styx song. Anyway. The Count of Tuscany. All 6 of these tracks are awesome. They're long and epic and pretty cool in my opinion. Great tracks on this album. So, another best production, etc. So, my number 3 is going to be Black Clouds and Silver Linings. Number 2 Silver Medal winner. And you'll be shocked this made it all the way up to here. My number 2 Silver Medal winner is going to be A View from the Top of the World album. I like their new one, to be honest. I think their new one is really good. And their latest one for now. I think it's really good in my opinion, out of all these Dream Theater albums. I think it has the same best production as like one of the older Dream Theater albums, so I think it matches its quality pretty well with this new one for now. So I really like this one. Just to top it off, The Alien, Answering the Call, Invisible Monster, Sleeping Giant, Transcending Time, Awaken the Master, and lastly, A View from the Top of the World. Yeah, I really dug their new one for now. I think it's really good in my opinion. This made it all the way up to my number 2 Silver Medal winner. I think it's pretty good. On to my number 1 favorite. Oh, your guys' blood will be starting to boil, and and all that stuff, and to be pissed about my decision about all these Dream Theater albums. What is my number one gold medal winner, you ask? It's gonna be Train of Thought. So there you go. Whatever. I love this one. Out of all 15 of them, Train of Thought, I think it's pretty heavy as hell. I like this one. So I like this different direction of this band doing something way different in my opinion, which fits my style. This is the best Dream Theater album I think it is. For me it is. I think it's really cool in my opinion. And just to finish off this ranking, I'm going to name all these tracks. As I Am, This Dying Soul, Endless Sacrifice, Honor Thy Father, Vacant, Stream of Consciousness, instrumental, really good instrumental in my opinion. And lastly, In the Name of God. There you go. Yeah, overall, this is my goddamn most favorite Dream Theater album out of all 15 of them. So, I can't praise this enough, guys. This made it to my number one gold medal winner. It's my favorite. It's the heaviest and the best vocalist in my opinion. My number one gold medal winner is definitely Train of Thought. And there you go, my best home friends and my sexy lemon pie cuties. And especially you, Prism Miller, since you want to hear my opinion about this band. So here we go. It's good, I guess. So it's not as good as Halloween though. So it's a little bit like Halloween in some sort of way. So I do enjoy it. It's just I don't feel superly enjoyed yet until I have to re-rank them in the future. So Prism Miller want me to rank this. So here I am. I finally ranked it for you, Prism Miller, and the other fans as well. And there's so many. And long tracks too. You don't know how long it took me days to get through all 15 of these albums. You have no idea. And I finally did for you, Prism Miller. You heard my opinion about it. If I get a second opinion about it, who knows. And I'm going to end this video here. And I'm working on Led Zeppelin next. Anyway, subscribe to me if you haven't. Click the bell to get notified of my next video and comment a like about this. New studio album ranking of Dream Theater studio albums, worst to best. And I'll see you with my Led Zeppelin ranking. It'll be more interesting. And yeah, it's a classic rock band. Who said it wasn't? Anyway, seizure later.